Tyler Kieft. Catch the Megacast weekdays from 10 a.m. to 11 on Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and streaming on mymytv.com.
Many people are feeling overwhelmed and struggling with mental wellness these days. So be kind to your mind. Give yourself permission to breathe. Share your feelings. You are not alone. Have hope. Talk to a Stay Well counselor for free confidential help 24/7 through the COVID-19 hotline.
Get ready for The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's dedicated update show. Events, businesses, and people. Anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to The Splash Live.
Good morning and welcome to The Splash Live. Dave Scott here in our Civic Center studios. Let's see, is today Tuesday, Wednesday? It's Wednesday. No, Tuesday. Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday, okay. So busy. Who the heck knows what's going on? There is so much going on in our community. And it's good to be with you today. I'll bring you up to date on everything that's right in front of us in just a minute. First of all, let's get our hello and howdies in. Dave Scott, Civic Center TV, thank you very much for joining us. You're watching The Splash Live, part of our 90 minutes of live television each and every day right here on your good old friendly local community television channel. You can watch The Splash Live with yours truly, and then Tyler Kieft comes in at 10 o'clock with the Megacast, an hour and a half of live local programming here on Civic Center TV and all of our outlets. Wow, we have a lot of them. You can watch us, as you always have for the past 20 years, in Comcast Channel 15. Easy to do so if you're in the West Bloomfield, Greater West Bloomfield area, and you are a Comcast subscriber. If you happen to be an AT&T subscriber, tune in to Channel 99 on AT&T. There's a menu system there with all of the community television channels. Pick, of course, West Bloomfield or Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, Kegel Harbor, your community of choice, and you'll see our programming each and every day on AT&T. You can watch us on the internet, on the web, right from your computer or your mobile device at civiccentertv.com. Really nice to do it there because we've got all of our archives, information, and of course you can activate closed captions, and there's information right on our website how to do that, and it is in full high definition, which really doesn't happen on cable. So a lot of people like watching there. Many people also watch us each and every day on social media. So Facebook Live, we're there. YouTube Live, we're there as well. Just search for Civic Center TV. And of course, we are also on the radio. We are fortunate to have 89.3 Lakes FM on the air since 1974 in the Greater West Bloomfield area. And you can tune in and listen as you're driving around the community. So no matter where you happen to be this morning, how you happen to be watching, we thank you very much for tuning in. Let's take a look at the weather in the Greater West Bloomfield area. And wasn't yesterday nice? Oh my goodness, finally a day full of sunshine. Today, not quite so much. We got clouds back in and likely a little precip. Temperatures could be worse for this time of the year. High today, 36 degrees. It's only 29 right now. A little chilly in West Bloomfield. We'll get down to only 32 tonight, warming up for the next couple of days. 42 tomorrow on Wednesday. Thursday, warming up to 41 degrees. But look for some clouds and possibly some precipitation, and at those temperatures, of course, that is going to be rain. Coming up on the program today, we are going to talk to Kevin Marshall, and Kevin Marshall is an archery expert. He is part of a group right here in West Bloomfield called Detroit Archers, and they've been around since 1929. So by now, with almost a century of experience, they know what they're doing. They have quite a story. If you are into archery or you'd like to learn more about it, stick around. It's another great, amazing resource we have right here in our community, and we're going to find out more about Detroit Archers, their history, and how you can get involved in a couple of minutes. Also checking in this morning is our fire chief, Greg Flynn, the chief of the West Bloomfield Fire Department. He'll be checking in, and we'll talk maybe a little bit of fire, but primarily he's been right at the epicenter of the planning for an amazing community event as we celebrate the life of Pastor Jack Freed, who, of course, passed away just before the new year. He'll check in with an update on all of that coming up in just a couple of of minutes. So very busy. That's why I can't even keep track of what day of the week it is. We have so much going on over the next couple of days. And it all kicks off with United We Walk on Sunday, the 15th. That's this Sunday. Of course, it is Martin Luther King weekend. This is an annual event we've done for decades here in West Bloomfield. The big change this year is that rather than all the activities happening at West Bloomfield High School, this year, this will all be going on at the brand new, beautiful West Bloomfield Middle School, also on Orchard Lake Road between Walnut Lake and Maple. And we invite you to come by Sunday around 1 o'clock. And a couple of things. There's going to be a program. You'll have a good opportunity to hear not only students of all ages, but others talking about Dr. Martin Luther King. But in addition, we will be doing what we can to help people in our community who are struggling during these challenging times. So you can see on your screen the list of all of the items that you could bring by. Small boxes of macaroni and cheese, cans of tuna, small cans of chicken, vegetables, other non-perishable items, diapers, and all the items that are on there. Bring some of those, help out. You can also drop off those items, as it says on the screen, at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, at the police department, or at any of the schools. But come by on Sunday. We'll be there. Tyler and I will be there from Civic Center TV along with our crew, and certainly putting together a broadcast out there. But we invite you to come by. It's an annual tradition here in West Bloomfield as we honor Dr. Martin Luther King. Now, add that to the busy schedule that also includes the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber. We're getting together with all of our friends at the Chamber on Friday morning at the Avalon of Commerce Township. And this is for the West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors installation event. And it's going to be a great event. Not only are you going to be able to meet members of the Chamber and the leaders of the Chamber, but a lot of other people from our business community will all be gathering. And of course, we have dignitaries there, not the least of which is Oakland County Judge Diane DeAugustini, the 48th District Court, who will officiate all of the signing in ceremonies, if you will. But it's really, there's a little bit of ceremony, but there'll be a program, and I have the pleasure of being your MC for the morning. But more than that, it's just a really great opportunity for people to get together in our community and talk about 2023 from a business perspective, and maybe an opportunity for you to make some new business contacts, or just meet somebody that you haven't met before. Say hello to old friends. It's going on Friday morning. We'll have it all live here. Our normal programming lineup for Friday, we're going to put on the shelf for a day, and we'll be broadcasting live from the Avalon of Commerce Township. It all begins at 8 o'clock. If you'd like to sign up and register for the event, we invite you to do so. Go to the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce website. They've got all the details. And if that wasn't enough, our hardworking, ambitious crews decided to take on another project. We're going to be broadcasting live on MLK Day from West Bloomfield High School, and we're so excited about the Laker MLK Classic basketball tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's happening on Martin Luther King Day. We've got schools from all over the state of Michigan, Michigan High School Athletic Association schools. So it all kicks off at 11 o'clock with Riverview taking on Birmingham Groves, and then runs throughout the day. We've got games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games going on, culminating with your West Bloomfield Lakers taking on Cass Tech, and that's going to be right around 7:30. If you've not been out to see our West Bloomfield High School women's basketball team, they are fantastic. They won the state championship last year, and they've invited all the other fine teams, the best teams from around the state of Michigan. Great opportunity to see some basketball, and then we'll mix that in with some really hopefully meaningful messaging for you on MLK Day. So come join us. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we look forward to you being with us. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a minute. When we return, we'll meet Kevin Marshall from Detroit Archers, and Greg Flynn, our West Bloomfield Fire Chief, checks in as well. Good morning. I'm Dave Scott. Thank you very much for tuning in. You're watching The Splash Live, and we'll be right back.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Watch some exciting games of basketball from high schools all over at the Laker MLK Classic. Cheer on your students and their competitors as they honor the freedoms and rights Dr. King fought to protect. Bring a friend, your family, or an acquaintance and get a good seat before 11 a.m. Monday, January 16th at West Bloomfield High School. The Lakers MLK Classic.
When the temperatures are chilly, being together warms the soul. Keep the winter fun going. Help protect yourself and those around you by keeping your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
And now, back to the Splash, live.
Good morning and welcome back to the Splash Live. Dave Scott here in our Civic Center studios. So good to have you with us. We have so many things that are going on here in West Bloomfield, people and organizations that just amaze me. And the beauty of this job is I get to learn about a lot of things I didn't know about. I didn't know, and shame on me, about Detroit Archers, an organization that has been here in West Bloomfield since the 1920s, promoting and supporting archery. Joining us this morning is Kevin Marshall from Detroit Archers. Hey, Kevin, good morning, and thank you for joining us bright and early on the Splash Live.
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning.
Well, it's really good to have you. And just to get people going, tell us, I mean, I assume we come to your place and you've got acres and acres of land in West Bloomfield and we get a chance to enjoy archery, but there's got to be a lot more to it than that. And just give people an introduction to Detroit Archers that might not be familiar with you.
Well, Detroit Archers has been around since 1928 when we formally started. And we've been in West Bloomfield at this location since the late 60s or mid 60s. And we have 32 acres on our property, and we have 2 outdoor shooting ranges and an indoor shooting range. Plus we have field courses where you go walk around the property and shoot at targets around through the natural environment. And we have a host of activities. It's a member-driven organization, but we host a lot of activities, and pretty much everything is always open to the public.
Well, it sounds fascinating. And, you know, I grew up in a family that archery was very important. I wasn't one of the things that I, got involved in, but a lot of other people in my family did. Is there a growing community of archers here in our area? Or is this something that you're working on promoting and trying to invite new people into archery now?
We're always trying to invite new people in. It's something that kind of in popularity goes up and down a little bit, a little more interest around the Summer Olympics. We saw a great influx after the movie Brave came out, with young girls wanting to take up archery, and then with things like the Hunger Games was something that piqued curiosity. But we see a pretty steady and constant group of people that come through. We get a lot of, on our open shooting days, we get a lot of novice people that come in and just want to try it out, and we host a number of groups at various times. But it's growing as people start to look for additional activities, something to do that isn't maybe something for the strongest, fastest, and more of a concentration sport.
So is this something, Kevin Marshall, that anybody in any kind of physical shape or generally any age could do? Because I think, pulling the bow back, does that take a lot of strength?
It does, and it doesn't. Depends on how aggressive you want to get with your poundage that you have to pull back on the bow. We generally shoot for beginners. Little children will start at 7 pounds or 8 pounds, and then adults will 15 or 20, and then work your way up from there. Obviously, the more poundage you pull, the faster it throws the arrow, and maybe the more accurate it might fly, and those kinds of things. But you don't need to have a lot of upper body strength, and actually it's mostly in your back muscles. It's not so much in your arm muscles. And we work on teaching people proper form so that they don't injure themselves with repetition, on working these muscles that you don't normally work in this way.
Is there a community of people that do what you do, come to facilities like yours, that are not engaged in hunting, or is there always a direct correlation between what you're doing and then archery as it relates to hunting?
No, we had kind of have a 50-50 mix here at the club of people who are just target shooters and come to just improve on their their form and accuracy and repetition and those kinds of things through it. And then we have the other half of the group that are avid hunters and fisher people that go out and chase after deer and bear and turkey and all sorts of animals with their bows during the various seasons.
Well, I remember as a kid, I would go to a summer camp up in northern Michigan, and we had all the things back in those days that young boys did, and riflery, archery, all those things, and I loved archery. We had a great time, and there were a lot of awards and recognitions and qualifications, and it really is, I think, an amazing thing to introduce to your children if they're looking for
Yes.
something unique to do that they can really have some pride in. Get them away from the computer, for goodness sakes,
Right.
and give them a real bow and arrow, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and we have kids on our Saturday morning archers is a program that we run every Saturday. It used to be the junior archery program, but now it's kind of more all ages, and it's a drop in on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. at the club, and we get kids as young as 5, 6 years old, and then adults up into their 80s who come and try archery for the first time, and it's something that anybody can do, and it's a very relaxing sport, and it focuses you. You have to focus on the target, and you have to throw away all those things that are bugging you in your mind, and concentrate on it. And so it's a really good stress relief too.
Okay, and obviously you do this inside, you do this outside. I can see from the
Yes.
pictures that we have on the screen right now. As I was looking through your biographical information this morning, I couldn't help but see the name of Fred Bear on there, which
Yes.
he's a legendary name in hunting and archery. And the only reason I know him as a rock and roller is the Ted Nugent song. So I'm
Exactly. Yeah.
probably not the only one that makes that connection. But talk about Fred Bear and his involvement in the origins of your organization.
Well, Fred Bear is the father of kind of archery in Michigan, especially in the hunting aspect. And there's an organization called Pope and Young that people take or you try to get your trophy animals into theirs. And they came to Detroit and decided that the Detroit area needed a club, and so they began bugging Fred Bear and others to do something. So then they did start the Detroit Archers in 1928, and Fred was the first president. And he served as president on and off for a number of years and was a member, I believe, up until his death.
All right.
And
Well,
he
another
and a lot of people got to shoot with him, and I wasn't around at the time when he was around at the club, but we have lots of, we used to have a polar bear that he had harvested, but that was stolen from the club in the 90s, and things like there's all sorts of history that goes on.
All right. Well, we clearly need to do a 3-hour show all about the history. Obviously have a really interesting and colorful history. We'll get a chance to come out and spend some more time with you. Kevin, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. If people want more information about your organization, they got all fired up this morning, where would they go?
Well, we have our website, which is DetroitArchers.com. And then we have our email address, DetroitArchers.wb@gmail.com, and they can send information. We'll respond to that. But we have our calendar on there that lists all of our events and that information, and a number of people who run the various events, their contact information, and they can go from there.
And I also saw a lot of information on Facebook as well. So one of those two
Yes.
places, and we'll follow up. And let's keep in touch. I'd like to come out
Okay, great.
and see it firsthand. Thank you very much.
Sounds great. Thank you very much.
All
Thanks for
right.
having me.
Very good. Kevin Marshall checking in this morning from another gem we have here in West Bloomfield, Detroit Archers. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Our Fire Chief Greg Flynn checks in next after this. Good morning. You're watching The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream lives on with United We Walk, an event that celebrates Dr. King Jr.'s birthday by embracing unity, diversity, and acceptance. Volunteer, participate, or donate to bolster your community and engage with your fellow citizens. For more information, scan the QR code on screen or go to unitedwewalk.org. Show your support Sunday, January 15th, 2023, from 1 to 3 p.m. at the new West Bloomfield Middle School.
There are many different kinds of noses. Our noses can sniff out all kinds of things. Good things and bad things. Your nose knows if those sniffles are just a cold, allergies, or COVID-19. So swab it. Test it. It's good to know.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on The Splash Live, part of 90 minutes of live television each and every Monday through Friday morning right here on Civic Center TV. Tyler Keefe standing by. We'll get to him right after 10 o'clock, but joining us now, the chief of the West Bloomfield Fire Department, Greg Flynn. Chief Flynn, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Dave, good morning.
Good to have you with us. When something happens in our community, there's an issue or there's some need. A lot of people come together, often many of the same people, come together to work hard to help solve that problem or organize an important event. You're always right in the middle of that, and no exception this time after the passing of Pastor Jack Freed, someone, an absolute icon in our community. And you've been working very hard on programs as we look to remember Pastor Freed and honor his life, and that's what we were chatting about yesterday. And good to have you here on the program this morning to tell the community what we've been working on.
Yes, as we send our sincere condolences to the Freed family, I know that they are very much preparing to celebrate the great work of Pastor Jack Freed, their dad, their grandpa, they're just, everything that Jack has meant to them. And really to your point about our meeting yesterday, Jack's impact on the greater West Bloomfield community. And, there's no shortage of individuals that are ready to share their gratitude and really their appreciation for everything that Jack has done for West Bloomfield and the surrounding communities.
Well, of course, and a lot of people, because he impacted so many people over all of his years. Certainly his congregants, at the Holy Spirit Church, but it went so far beyond that as the chaplain of the police and the fire department, and on and on and on. And whether you were involved in Michigan Week or Optimists or some of the many other organizations he was involved in, or yet just, ran into him at some point. I didn't, and I assume most people didn't have a casual relationship with Pastor Freed. He really made an effort to be your friend and interact with you at a deep level.
And that is what I think so many people are grateful for, is that gratitude of how inclusive he was. Dave, I'm sure you felt this a little bit from Jack, his ability to nudge you off or out of your comfort zone and really get you to go that extra mile for the community. I'm sure you never felt any pressure from him to do that, right? As I say with heavy sarcasm there, he was the master at pushing us to do a little bit more.
Well, and that was very familiar for me because he, like my mother, were very, very similar in that regard, and they were very good friends and both very active in this community in their days. So, especially for me after her passing, it was really comforting to get that same kind of vibe from Pastor Jack Freed as well. So, unfortunately, we have limited time this morning. We've been working. You have been taking a leadership role and working on planning events for next week, right around the corner, as we celebrate the life of Pastor Jack Freed. You want to tell us some of the things that we're working on?
Well, the culminating event really will kind of start at kind of where we'll end, and that'll be on Thursday, January 19th at 5 o'clock here in West Bloomfield at the West Bloomfield Middle School, 6,000 Orchard Lake Road, the brand new middle school. That is an opportunity for the entire community to celebrate Pastor Jack Freed and his contributions and the impact that he has had. And that is really, I think, the event that we really want to get out there and let people know that if they're looking for a space, a place to come together and celebrate Jack's life and his contributions, that is really the place to be. Now, family will be receiving guests at McCabe Funeral Home starting on Tuesday, January 17th from 2 to 8 p.m. At McCabe Funeral Home, and that's 12 Mile Road in Farmington Hills. And that'll be a visitation there at the funeral home where folks that maybe aren't able to make the 19th will be able to attend and spend some time with family there.
Yeah.
On the 18th,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
The family, on the 18th, the family will be having their memorial service at Holy Spirit Church, and those that will be joining, that information is available through Holy Spirit and through family, and I think they can share details on that event based on, we know that church, I think you and I have both been in there. It is a little bit of a close feel in there. So I know that family wants everyone to feel welcome, but there clearly will be some limitations on some seating there. So we'll leave that with family.
Well, absolutely. And, if you're a community member and you're looking for an opportunity to interact with other people that interacted with Pastor Freed, and then also hear some of the amazing stories about his life and just share some experiences. The great place to do that is going to be at the West Bloomfield Middle School on Thursday evening. We will be broadcasting that service, that event, forgive me, it's not a service, and the service from Holy Spirit on Wednesday, because we do understand that it's going to be very crowded there. But I think it's going to be a great opportunity for the community to come together. And how perfect at our brand new, beautiful middle school, where we have all the resources and everything we need to be able to put on an event like this. And as just an added bonus, a great opportunity to see the school if you've not been there. So clearly, Chief Flynn and I are encouraging you to come on Thursday to the school because there really will be limited seats at Holy Spirit on Wednesday.
Dave, I want to leave you before you go on to your next guest. I got an email this morning from Chief Wiseman. Chief Wiseman retired back in 2015. Jack was there by his side, and his chaplaincy for the fire department took place under Chief Wiseman's watch. Chief Wiseman just sent me his flight information that he's making the trip back to Michigan to celebrate Pastor Freed. And I think that just underscores the impact that Jack had on so many people's lives, and would just encourage people to participate how they are able on the 17th, on the 18th, or on the 19th via streaming, via in person. But what a great opportunity to celebrate just a great individual, a great human that we were also fortunate to share time with.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being with us. Thank you for that message and your words this morning. And always good to see you. And I think we made it through 10 minutes without talking anything fire this morning. But we'll do that. We'll do that on another day. One of our great community leaders, always there when we need him. It's so good to be with Chief Greg Flynn this morning. Thank you, sir. Good to be with you.
All the best.
All right, we got to skip along. Thank you for joining us this morning. If you want to make a note, and we certainly will be promoting this throughout the next week, but civiccentertv.com/Jack Freed is where we will have all of the live streams next week. More on that coming up as we get closer. It's going to be a very busy couple of days. We'll be back tomorrow morning and keep you up to date on it. Tyler Keefe coming up in a moment. Thank you this morning for watching The Splash Live.